Greetings, humans. It's me, Bob Harris, Senior Editor of FootballDiehards.com. It is time for the Football Diehards Week 5 Injury Review, Preview, Update, Overview thing. Something we like to do every Saturday to get you up to speed, help you set the table for setting your lineups. I'll run through all the injury situations that you want to have on your radar going into Sunday's games and kind of run through them in chronological order so you understand the fallback plans. That's important this week because there are 10 games with the early afternoon kickoff, only 2 late afternoon, a Sunday night and a Monday night. There's a London game this week. It is not an early kickoff. It's an early afternoon in the normal window. Next week, the Bucks and Panthers are going to be an early morning kickoff, so be ready for that. Right now, there are no Dolphins or Lions playing this week. Some would argue there are never any Dolphins playing, but they're Detroit, Miami on the bye. There is no Drew Brees, no Cam Newton, no Devontae Adams this week, no Tyreek Hill. Melvin Gordon, yes, but what role? We'll talk about that. I'm going to roll through. We'll start with the early afternoon kickoffs. There's no Saquon Barkley either, of course. He's getting close, though, right? He worked kind of, did some running and cutting this week. Sounds like he's aiming for the next week's Thursday night game against the Patriots. So that'll be something we'll watch in coming games. Wayne Gallman will continue to start in his place against the Minnesota Vikings this week. And expect Stephon Diggs to play. There's been a little drama. Hit the main page of the site and read up on all that. Stephon Diggs not happy with his role. Adam Thielen not happy with his role. And Kirk Cousins apologizing for his part in their lack of role. So interesting stuff going on in Miami where they like to run the football and play defense. Sam Darnold ruled out again this week with Philadelphia. He was on the practice field, basically worked fully, but no contact. The issue is his spleen. He had medical testing on Thursday night, and he's just not quite ready yet. Sounds like next week for him as well. Luke Falk will continue to start, or will start this week in his place, and hopefully just this week. Deshaun Jackson out on the other side of the ball. The Eagles, it's a pretty favorable matchup for them. So the remaining receivers, Alshon Jeffrey, Zach Ertz, Nelson Aguilar, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, all that crew should fare reasonably well. And we'll see what the Jets receivers could do. Sounds like Demaryius Thomas might be ready to play too. Well, maybe make his Jets debut. We'll see about that with Luke Falk at quarterback. I wouldn't get my hopes up. For the Buffalo Bills, great news there. Josh Allen was cleared through the concussion protocol early Saturday morning. He practiced fully Friday. This seemed to be heading in that direction. Matt Barkley will be standing by as needed, but expect Allen to start against the Tennessee Titans. Devin Singletary remains a game-time decision. He's listed as questionable. The Bills have a bye next week, so you'll wonder if they maybe hold him out again one more week and err on the side of caution with him. That would not be the worst thing that could happen, right? Frank Gore handling the workload, T.J. Yeldon chipping in. The Patriots are at Washington in a great matchup. Rex Burkhead listed as questionable. Julian Edelman listed as questionable, foot and chest respectively. They've been playing through these injuries. I would expect them to again. Ben Watson, eligible to return from suspension. He won't this week. He didn't make the trip to Washington. Stephen Gostkowski, the place kicker, is done for the year on IR, having a season-ending hip surgery. His replacement is Mike Nugent. So get Gostkowski out of your lineups if you got him in there. On the other side of the ball, it's a mess. Colt McCoy will start at quarterback for the Washington Redskins. Case Keenum is listed as questionable. Not clear whether he'll be the backup or not. Either way, they hope McCoy can start and finish this one. It's a tough matchup. Patriots defense, vicious this year. Terry McLaurin, the outstanding rookie receiver, questionable again this week. He didn't play last week with the same hamstring injury. He's considered 50-50. This is one you'll have to watch in the 90 minutes leading up to kickoff. Vernon Davis and Jordan Reed both out. That leaves Jeremy Sprinkle as the top tight end for the Washington Redskins heading into this one. That's not great news. For the Chicago Bears against Oakland in London. This is the London game. Mitchell Trubisky is out this week. Chase Daniels will start in his place, as we expected. Maybe Trubisky can get back pretty quickly, but we will see. He's out this week. Taylor Gabriel also out. Everyone else off the injury report for the Bears. Trey Burton, Eddie Pinheiro, both good to go. On the other side of the ball, diciness. Terrell Williams and J.J. Nelson, the starting wide receivers, both listed as questionable. Williams with a foot. Nelson with the ongoing knee issue. Same issue that sidelined him last week. He was a last-minute scratch during pregame warm-ups when the knee tightened up. So those will be ones to watch, right? If they're not going, that leaves not impressive crews like Trevor Davis, Hunter Renfrow, maybe Keelan Doss, maybe a heavy workload for Darren Waller either way, likely against a tough Bears defense that is a little less tough against tight ends. So, and Josh Jacobs would obviously play a role in the passing attack as well. For the Pittsburgh Steelers facing the Baltimore Ravens, Juju Smith-Schuster and Vance McDonald both listed as questionable. Smith-Schuster has a toe injury. McDonald, the shoulder that kept him out last week. Smith-Schuster struggling more due to the offense with Mason Rudolph, they're just not throwing deep, throwing heavily with the wide receivers or the running backs last week. And playing a little wildcat with Jalen Samuels in there. So Smith-Schuster and McDonald both practiced fully Friday. Seems like they're trending towards playing, but it'll be one you want to watch. James Conner, by the way, taken off the injury report on Friday. He worked fully as well. He had the ankle sprain last week and played through it after he suffered it. So against the Bengals. Cam Newton, of course, out for Carolina, Jacksonville. Jalen Ramsey out on the other side of the ball. That probably works in Curtis Samuel's favor. Kyle Allen will continue to start with Newton. Gardner Minshew, I can almost say his name. Gardner Minshew has a little bit of a knee issue, but he was removed from the injury report on Friday. Good to go there. The New Orleans Saints facing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Drew Brees out in that one. It's in New Orleans. Teddy Bridgewater will continue to start. Hasn't done much to hurt the values of guys like Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas, so that will continue. On the other side of the ball, Chris Godwin removed from the injury report on Friday. They should have removed him last week, right? He went into that game against the Rams questionable and destroyed them. This game, Rashad Perriman has been ruled out with a lingering hamstring issue. For the Arizona Cardinals at Cincinnati, what a great matchup for both offenses, right? Damiere Byrd is listed as questionable. I don't know. He did not practice all week. He missed last week with the same hamstring. Christian Kirk already ruled out of this game. He hurt his ankle last week. Could mean Andy Isabella moves up in the rotation. Talk about him playing outside instead of in the slot. He would join Larry Fitzgerald, Trent Sherfield, and Keyshawn Johnson as in the top 4 rotation there if Damiere Byrd can't go. Other side of the ball, of course, no A.J. Green, no John Ross. Ross placed on IR this week with a shoulder injury he suffered against the Steelers. Green, still no real timetable for his return. Should be in the next couple of weeks. In the meantime, Auden Tate will continue to start opposite Tyler Boyd, who will work the slot. Tate, a big body guy, going up against the Cardinals. Like him, Tyler Eifert, tight ends against Arizona. We always like that, too. Maybe they'll mistake the ginormous Auden Tate for a tight end. Alex Erickson is moving in as the number 3 receiver, normally known as a kick returner. But it's safe to say the Damian Willis experiment is over. He was initially the guy who replaced A.J. Green. Didn't go well for him. Late afternoon kickoffs. As I mentioned, Devontae Adams ruled out already with the toe injury he suffered a week ago Thursday. So bad news for the Packers. And also Jamal Williams, who suffered the concussion last week, he is also ruled out of this game. So the receiving core, maybe Jake Kumro moves into the number 3. It'll be Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and Geronimo Allison is the top 2. Some talk by Matt LaFleur that maybe we see a little more Jake Kumro, or this may be Jake Kumro's week as the number 3. And Jimmy Graham probably will continue to play a greater role. On the other side of the ball, Michael Gallup, listed as questionable. Sounds like he'll play. Practiced all week. He's coming back from the knee procedure. Sounds like he's healing nicely, and looks like he'll be good to go. I don't know what kind of role I would expect right off the bat. Randall Cobb, revenge game. Don't get your hopes up there either. Ezekiel Elliott has a great matchup. I'll just say that. Go read my DFS 3 and out column, and you'll see what I think about that whole situation. The LA Chargers beat up as hell. Still, Mike Williams did not play last week. He's listed as questionable. He told ESPN on Friday that he will play. The reason he didn't play the week before was because they were flying all the way to Miami. Might have been an issue for the back spasms that are bothering him. Travis Benjamin also questionable with the hip. Justin Jackson, the running back, doubtful with the calf injury, sidelined him last week. Mike Badgley, doubtful with the groin. He will not play this week. They signed Chase McLaughlin to handle the kicking until he recovers. Hunter Henry is now seen running in workouts, but still not ready to go. He is listed as out. Virgil Green, also the other tight end, listed as he's questionable, has a groin issue. They signed, added Steven Anderson. They have Lance Kendricks, so they'll have this gin together somehow. Maybe not. Sean Culkins, by the way, was placed on IR this week, so they're cobbling together a tight end situation. Oh, yeah. Melvin Gordon's going to play. We don't know what kind of role, but it's a Denver defense that was very generous, gave up 225 yards to Leonard Fournette last week. So that seems like a good place for him, a good landing spot for Melvin Gordon's first role. But we just really don't know. I'll be looking for more on that as we head into game time. But Anthony Lynn, citing Austin Eckler's success to date, makes it clear that he doesn't need to force Gordon into a super huge role right off the bat, and probably won't. That takes us to the Sunday night game. The Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Indianapolis Colts. Marlon Mack is listed as questionable with an ankle injury. T.Y. Hilton questionable with a quad injury, the same one that sidelined him last week. I would expect both of them to play, but it's a game time decision. and you're going to have fallbacks. It's going to be a tough situation given that Sunday night kickoff. Maybe you can pick up Jordan Wilkins or Nyheim Hines if they're available. There is no Paris Campbell this week. He will not be one of the guys you could pivot to. It would be Deion Kane, Chester Rogers, Zach Pascal. Those would be the available wide receivers. Paris Campbell had a little procedure on his abdomen. Sounds like he'll miss more than this week. So have that on your radar. The other side of the ball, Damian Williams is listed as questionable, as is Sammy Watkins. Williams practiced fully all week. Sounds like he's ready to return. LaShawn McCoy off the injury report. Seems like they would share. Darrell Williams was great in Damian's absence, but we'll see what the roles are. Maybe it's a three-way split now all of a sudden, and maybe Darwin Thompson gets more than the 5 snaps, or maybe he gets less. That's just something to watch. But I expect Damian Williams back. Watkins practiced fully Wednesday and Thursday, then was limited on Friday, so trending in the wrong direction there. Really not sure what would happen. If he's out, there's no Tyreek Hill yet, although he's getting close. He practiced on a limited basis all week. That'll be one we'll be watching next week as well. So dial up the website in the 90 minutes leading up to kickoff to make sure you have all the inactives still straight there. Monday night game, Tevin Coleman looks like he's trending towards coming back. Been working on a limited basis. Kyle Shanahan says once he's ready to go, he will be active and part of that rotation with Matt Breida, Raheem Mostert, and we'll see what happens to Jeff Wilson at that point. Other side of the ball, Jarvis Landry cleared from the concussion protocol. Sounds like he will play. Antonio Callaway coming back from suspension, also a high ankle sprain. Seems like he's trending in the right direction, and Rashard Higgins as well, who's missed some time with a knee injury. Sounds like they'll all, have a chance to play. Check back on the main page of the website Saturday afternoon. I'll have the official injury report for the Monday night game when it's released. And by the way, go to the main page of the website anyway. There's tons of stuff up, including all our DFS content. Bobby Gomes, Kyle Dvoracek doing some live chatting. They'll also do their live pregame Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time. I spend an hour doing some roster building. Kyle, Justin Lanero, myself, Bobby all have pieces up on the website. John Lobb, the Gridiron's sheet of DraftKings knowledge, always one of my favorite stops. And of course, Brad Cruz doing his weekly sit starts, one of the top high-stake players in the league. Tons of content up, podcast, video. We'll have the live inactives right up through kickoff, so watch the late-breaking updates section. And also check that after you watch this video to make sure nothing's changed since this went up around the middle of the day Saturday. So there you have it. Good luck this week, and let's go out and get some wins.